McTelvin Agim joining us. Sosa Agim, really glad that you're able to take the time and talk with us. Have been love following the journey that you've been on since you left Arkansas. Let's talk about going to that East-West Shrine game, being able to prove yourself to go to the Senior Bowl, and then be able to go to the Combine. What have these past couple of months been like for you?
Yes, ma'am. It's been a lot, but it's been a fun journey and a great journey. I want to say thank you to all of those organizations for allowing me to be a part of that moment. Um, Basically, what took part was what was in my mind was I had to prove myself. I feel like it was a lot of questions about me, so I had to make sure that I answered those questions going into the East West Senior Bowl and then Combine as well.
What do you think when you talk about having to prove yourself, having to answer those questions? I mean, you came into Arkansas as a 5-star recruit, but do you feel like because of the things that happened at Arkansas, the coaching changes, your defensive line coaching changes, that you weren't able to really live up to the way that you can play in college?
It was just a lot of different things that played into everything. I feel like numbers wise, I did great compared to a lot of people. If you check my numbers, it was a lot of people look at a lot of different things, but if you check my numbers are pretty good compared to people of the past, people of the present. So I feel like overall I had a pretty good career at Arkansas. We did have a lot of different bumps in the roads with coaching changes, de-coordinator changes, everything. But you got to get used to changes. Change is a part of life. So I feel like the hype didn't stay with me, but I definitely still kept competing and kept putting out, producing.
Absolutely. And to now build off that production, for you, I'm assuming you think your best football is ahead of you, and that's what you're trying to sell to these teams is my best football is ahead of me, and I want to be a part of your team so I can help you guys win ball games.
Oh, most definitely. I'm telling them like, you seen what I can do. Like I'm putting out good film. I've put out good film even when I was at Arkansas. So as long as that good film is there and they can see it, they know what they're getting.
I want to ask you what that combine experience is like because it's always interesting to hear what athletes say about that. Some love it, some don't love it, some have mixed emotions, some are just happy to be here. How was that experience for you?
Today was, not today, but the combine. It was a lot better than the past years. If you ask anybody, I think they'll say it was a lot better because what we heard was they keep you up all day, but they actually made it an extra day to get all of the medicals out the way. So it used to be one day to get medicals, but now it was 2 days to get medicals. So it really wasn't that bad. I had a lot of interviews in East West and Senior Bowl, so I didn't talk to a lot of teams. So I didn't talk to a lot of teams at the combine, so I had a lot of free time. I had a lot of downtime.
Well, that must have been nice. I know they do say you get some interesting questions. What was maybe the most interesting question you did get with teams, whether that be the few you talked to at the combine or at the East West Shrine game or at the Senior Bowl?
Probably the most interesting question I think I got, if a bus is about to crash, where would I be sitting on the bus? Yeah, I think that was probably one of the most interesting questions.
Do you remember what you said?
I want to be at the front of the bus. I want to have a say so on what's going on.
I got you. Now I want to ask you, when you look at defensive linemen in the NFL right now that came out of Arkansas, you've got guys like Trey Flowers, Darius Philon, guys you played with, Dietrich Wise, Jeremiah Ledbetter, to be a part of that group, to continue this production of defensive linemen in the NFL that Arkansas has been able to do. How much would you love to be a part of that group?
I would definitely love to be a part of it. Those are my guys. I still talk to those guys today. You see those guys putting in production and making plays, and it's like, you basically know who you are. You can do the same thing. You got Armand Watts, like my teammate last year, putting in work, or the year before last, putting in work and making plays in the NFL right now. So you can do it. It's just waiting your time and getting the right opportunity.
What have you learned from maybe some of those guys, or have talked to some of those guys who have helped you with this process as you get ready for that next level?
They basically told me to throw everything from college out the window because it's a different ball game now. You have to be so precise and so quick. Every movement counts, and these linemen, if you wait probably one more second, they're gonna put you on your back. So you gotta be quick and agile.
I know you're doing what you can to stay in shape right now with what we're dealing with and in weight rooms, gyms being closed. You're running up the hills here at Arkansas. I know you saw that video on Twitter. For people who don't know and have never been to Arkansas, that's a lot harder than it looks. Man, tell me what you're
Most
doing to stay to stay in shape.
definitely, that's one of the hardest things I probably ever did. But yeah, that's one of the things I've been doing. I've been trying to get in the sand pits, like sand pits around here, and just do footwork, or getting on the field and doing footwork. Just basically trying to stay in shape, keep my quickness, and just keep building on everything that I already have.
What I've loved to hear the most about you over the past couple of months is how you've continued to build your draft stock, how people are starting to notice, really starting to fall in love with what you bring to the table. I think projections right now have you possibly third day, but you could sneak into day two because you continue to build up that draft stock. How are you looking in your eyes and what you're hearing from other teams, from your agent, about what your NFL draft experience could look like?
I'm hearing this it's all good. I'm not worried going into it. I understand that a lot of people guess where you're gonna be, but they don't really know. You don't know where I could be on this guy's board, so I'm like, okay, I just basically put it all out of my head and just try to celebrate the moment. Honestly,
What
I
is
feel I feel like I know my worth. So
Yeah, what is your draft weekend plans? You gonna have a close family and friends of what you can with what's going on right now
yeah,
and
yeah, try to
being at
follow the
home, or
guide.
what's the plan?
Yeah. I'm trying to make sure I follow the guidelines. I'm gonna be back in Texarkana, Texas,
Hmm.
back in my hometown, and just be around the family. Honestly,
Well, that's a great transition because I want to talk to you about your background and growing up in Texarkana. It's a story we've told before, but being in Texarkana, having to live at the Salvation Army for a time, you move over to Hope. You talk about how much that helped you grow as a person, the things that you went through when you were younger. To look at where you are right now, how much has your past helped you become the person you are today?
so much. If things in my past didn't happen, I wouldn't be who I am today. If I didn't go through the struggles that I went through, I probably would have the work ethic, or I probably wouldn't be the person that I am today. So it was all for a reason. I got those struggles for a reason. I got them because God knew I could handle them, and He knew what He was putting me through. He knew what He was preparing me for. So now it's time to basically just go through everything that He's been preparing me for.
Do you think back now, and sometimes you might have a little bit time to reflect once this NFL draft process is over, but to think about the fact that you are about to be in the NFL, to possibly get drafted, which is something you have worked your whole entire life for, the emotions that you have of the reality that you finally reached the goal that you set yourself, I'm sure, since you were little playing football.
Um, like I've had a little time to reflect on it. It's crazy, but it honestly just drives me more. It's like, okay, like it's finally here, so it's time to even take it up a notch if that's possible.
Mhm.
Just to keep getting it and making sure that the team is gonna get everything out of me. And I'm trying to make sure I'm a I'm a produce.
Mhm.
That's the main thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make sure I produce and I become a good draft pick, and I was worth it.
How much are you really excited, anticipated for when that phone call comes here next week?
I haven't really thought about it too much, but I'm definitely what I think is gonna be. I think it's gonna be a feeling of like finally it's over. Like now I know where I'm going,
Mhm.
because right now it's a lot of guessing. You don't know where you're going. Like nobody knows where you're going. They don't know what pick you're going. Um, a lot of people project, but you really don't know. You can go earlier or later. Like it's a lot of guesses. So I'm tired of guessing. I want facts. So that's what I'm waiting on.
I know that no one wants to say, well, I want to go to this team. I would love to go to this team, because you would love to go to any of the 32 NFL teams. But what if you were to go to a team like Dallas, just down the road from Texarkana, a place that you lived in for a little bit, owned by a former Razorback, Jerry Jones? How much would that mean to you?
That would mean a lot to me. I would feel like he, you know what I'm saying, he watched me at Arkansas. He felt like I did enough to be a part of his organization.
I want to ask you, because my coworker Gene and I went and did a road trip around Arkansas. We were able to go to Hope, Arkansas, and talk to your head coach there in your high school, Jay Turley. And being able to sit down and talk with him a few years ago, he had nothing but great things to say about you. He said you're like one of his kids. You guys have such a special bond. Talk to me a little bit about that bond that you have with Coach Turley, and what he's meant to you through this process, and maybe some of the things and advice that he's given you through this process.
Yes, Coach Turley, man, like that's my dude. We still talk to today. Basically, like he's basically just the coolest dude ever, man. Like he's gonna make sure, like he doesn't stress it either. You know, like like I said, I know my worth. He knows my worth as well. He's not falling into the whatever round it is. He just knows. You know, like we both know the work I put in, the work I've been putting in, the work I'm going to put in. So this is my dude. Like I said, I can call him today. I called him today. I think I talked to him like 2 days ago. We stay in contact. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have stayed at Hope. I probably would have went back to Texarkana. So that's my dude, and I can't say enough good things about him, honestly.
I'm going to tell you, when we were there, your number 3 jersey was still hanging in the locker room. So I feel like if you get drafted, and when you get drafted and you go play in the NFL, he's going to have to put up your NFL jersey right beside your high school jersey, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely appreciate it.
That would be nice. It's going to turn into, I think, a McTelvin Agim shrine in that locker. Just no one's allowed to have that locker anymore in Hope.
Yeah.
I have another question for you, because it was such a topic of conversation during SEC Media Days, but the Chucky doll that you always had with you, such a great tribute to your cousin. Is your Chucky doll going to be with you during the NFL draft and through this next process with you, like it has been through your time at Arkansas?
Yes, man, I'm gonna definitely bring Texarkana with me, and I'm gonna keep it around. Just keep his name alive. The time I probably just stop using is when we find out who committed the crime. So that's when I'll probably just retire the Chucky doll.
How much does it mean to you to have that? I know we've asked you that before, but to have it with you, to memorialize your cousin in that way, and to carry him through all these processes, that every step of your life that you've gone through, it's like he's right there beside you.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. It's like you said, it's like he's right here. And the thing about it, I'm keeping people thinking about him. Like people probably would have been forgot, but I'm able to have a platform and able to have the creativity to be able to do this is amazing, because now it's like it's hard to forget about him. Like you know the reason for it, so you know his name. So it's just a surreal feeling.
I was reading an article about something you said a couple years ago about how Texarkana and where you grew up, and not a lot of people get out. What do you think, for you to kind of be the symbol of what Texarkana can be? Hey, get out. I've been successful. I've done it. The message that you can send to other kids who are in your place right now.
I feel like that would be a great message, because I've had the ups and the downs of Texarkana. I done had the death. I done had the involvement with the police. I done had everything in that sort, and then I come to have the good behavior, the outstanding citizen, the person that wants to get back to the kids. Like I've been able to do that now. So to be able to see both sides of it is to be like, okay, like I can get to those people that were in that whose shoes I was in. and I can basically show them that it's a different way. So I feel like it's going to be a great feeling for me and a great feeling for my city.
I want to ask you lastly, obviously Arkansas now going through a new coaching transition. Sam Pittman back on the hill. He brought in Barry Odom as a defensive coordinator. How much do you want to see Arkansas get back to on the national stage, be able to be successful again and be able to represent, that Hog logo with pride and have that football team get back to where it was?
Um, I would love that, man. I would love for them guys to be competing for a natty next year. I'm gonna wear my hog with pride regardless.
Mm.
Win or lose, I'm still gonna wear my hog with pride. I would definitely love to see them back on top. That's something that I strived to do while I was here and couldn't do it. But those guys have more time than me, so I definitely think they would put the work in. I think Sarah Pittman can definitely do it. So I got to meet him when I was coming in as a
Mhm.
freshman, and on my recruiting visits as well. And he's a great guy. I got to talk with him a little bit when I came back for pro day. He's a great guy. So I just hopefully they can get it turned around very quick.
Well, I tell you what, Sosa, we have enjoyed all 4 years that we have covered you up here on the hill. You've been nothing but class, and we're really, really excited for what your future holds. And thanks so much for talking with us.
Yeah, yes, sir. And thank you so much for having me. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Take it easy, Sosa.
Yes, ma'am. You too.